Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. This week's video, we're doing the July bullet journal spreads. So the theme this month, if you couldn't tell by my kind of scary little drawings, the theme is Labubus because they have taken the internet by storm, and I figured why not hop on the trend train. So without further ado, let's get into the line art. This month, we're not going to be doing any crazy line art colors or anything like that. I'm just going to stick to black because these are like very cartoonish characters. So I'm going to go ahead and just do all of these straight outlines to begin with. Like I said, I'm hopping on the trend train and doing a Labubu theme because it's all I see everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it's just Labubu this, Labubu that. The name sounds a little silly to say out loud. And you know what? Since I've been inundated with like images of them, I kind of want one. Will I spend the money to buy one? No, they're like 120 Canadian dollars. For this little, it's probably only like this big, which is like, I don't know, 5 inches. $120 for like a little keychain plush? If you have disposable income like that and can spend it on a Labubu plush, good for you. But I feel like I can't justify it. So as much as I kind of want one, I can't get one. Also because what if they're a blind box type item, so what if I don't get one that I like, right? Like, I'm not spending $120 just to get one that's ugly, you know? So anyways, if you have one, I'm kind of jealous. If you have the one that I like, I'm even more jealous, but it will not be an investment that I am making. If somebody would like to send me one, that would be fantastic. Or if I could just, you know, guarantee that I could get the one that I want, then maybe I would spend some money. I did see them somewhere online for like 70 Canadian dollars, but still, that's a lot of money for maybe an ugly one. So anyways, that's my little rant about the Labubus. I'm not really sure where I was going with that rant, but anyways, oh, the other thing I was gonna say about them is that, do I want one just because they're popularized? I don't know. So I can't really tell right now, and maybe once the craze dies down, my brain will be like, you don't actually want one because they're no longer popular. Or maybe my brain will still be like, you know what? They're perfect to add to your collection of weird items. So I do have a lot of keychains already that hang off of my backpack that I take to work. I have one of Oogie Boogie, then I have another one of like one of those Boo Bear things, also like a blind box type deal. And then I have a little Grim Reaper plush as well. All of them dangle from my backpack. So do I have room for Labubu? Sort of, but not really. So anyways, rant over, let's keep going. I'm just gonna fast forward through the rest of this, and we'll get into lining the little Labubus. So I lined the calendars with a 5, but I'm gonna go, no, I lined them with an 8. I'm gonna go with a 5 to do the Labubus here. These two are making a sandcastle together, which is one of the branding promotional images. I can't remember if I said that in the intro or not, but I saw a lot of the images were very summer themed, so I figured that was perfect for summer. And, you know, like I said, I wanted to do Labubus because it's trendy right now. So anyways, I'm a little nervous of where to start off. I guess maybe I'll just start with their little face. That's kind of a scary place to start. But anyways, let's just go for it. Okay. I have zoomed you in so that you can see kind of what I'm doing in case for whatever reason you want to draw a Labubu for yourself. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I love their little like Cheshire cat grins. They definitely remind me of the monsters from Where the Wild Things Are. Maybe that was the plan or the point, I'm not sure. I don't really know a whole lot about these fluffy little creatures, other than they've taken the world by storm. And I'm not sure that I can't remember what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna do solid line art for these because they are fluffy guys. So I am just gonna go ahead and kind of do this. Like we'll do a couple squiggles and then just some little dashes to kind of symbolize that they are in fact fluffy. I understand that there are different versions and variations of these. What I saw first online was the little keychain looking ones that are these plush guys, which are kind of cute. Again, those are the ones that I mentioned were like $120. So that's kind of been my experience seeing them. But there are like plastic vinyl, like the whole thing is vinyl instead of just their little faces. Okay, I don't want it to get too overwhelming with like the little squiggles for the fur, so I am gonna go ahead and do some of the line art just totally normal. And then I don't know how many fingers they actually have, so we're just gonna hope for the best and hope that they have 3 fingers and a thumb. They also don't have a tail. I'm kind of surprised they don't have a tail, but maybe that's because I'm thinking of the where the wild things are ones. And they definitely only have 3 toes because there are pictures of ones that are sitting. So that's essentially just what I'm doing. I'm just following the ones that have already been drawn. And that's how you draw a Labubu. So let's go with the other 2. Alright, the first page of our Labubus are done. I messed up a little bit on this one's ears, but that's okay. It's sort of easy to fix. And then these circles were wonky, so I just went around them a couple times to make it look like it was intentional. So moving on to the first weekly spread, I just have these big long vertical boxes, and then there's a Labubu in a chair playing a guitar. So we'll do that next. I don't think I'm gonna do anything super fancy, you know, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing I did with these ones, with the 5 line art, and then maybe some of the smaller details in a number 3, like the umbrella. I think I'm getting better at drawing these little Labubus after, you know, drawing however many of them. I think this is number 5 now. But then I draw that little chair and my body just, you know, ceases to amaze me with what I am and am not able to do. So good thing for white paint pens to be able to cover my mistakes. This one, I like the face. There is in fact a doll that comes with this face. I don't know exactly what collection it's from or whatever, but I thought it was a cute little like cheesy like haha I'm king of the castle type vibe, because that's what we're going for with this little one. He's sitting on top of a sandcastle. I was gonna do 6 days on the spread and then 8 here, but I couldn't figure out a way to make it fit properly, so I ended up doing 7 and 7, and we just continued the sand across the 2 pages, which I thought was, you know, a little bit of a more creative way to go about combining the 2 spreads together. This is also part of the promotional images, as is this little Labubu holding a popsicle over here. That one looks a little scary just the way that I've drawn it right now, but I promise it will get less scary. I don't even know if you can see that anyways, so maybe it doesn't matter right now. That might be the best one I've drawn so far. Who knows? I know I don't quite have their little like proportions correct because their bodies are basically the same size as their heads. It's not the easiest thing to draw. Okay, now my least favorite part, perspective drawing. So I did kind of map this out. I'm gonna go in with the 3 because it's like, you know, slightly less important than this part. And we have to draw the little spikes on the top of the sandcastle. So I'm just gonna wing it, I guess, because that's kind of where we're at here. Okay, not the worst, but also certainly not the best. For the windows and door of this, I'm kind of just going with the corner of the pen to make it look really faint. Could I use the 0.05 pen to do this? Probably, but am I going to? No. And now to do the exact same thing, but on this smaller one. Okay. Okay, it's not perfect, but our sandcastle's perfect? No. This Labubu scene is another one from the promotional images. The only one that wasn't is actually the one on the next page that I have. So this one is 2 of them sharing drinks. Instead of having the little table in between them, I decided to add the little radio from a different image that I saw because I thought that would be a little bit cuter. I hope that's what that radio is kind of supposed to look like. That sounds a little silly now that I say it out loud. I think they have the little antennas. Just keep going along doing the same thing for all of these Labubus with their fur and their claws. Do they all look a little bit funky? Yeah, but you know what? They're that ugly cute that's really popular right now. Like everybody wants something that's ugly cute. So if they're not perfect, that's totally fine. I'm a little sad that, you know, all of this stuff is kind of like trademarked, so you're not able to sell anything, because I think this is actually a really cute theme and it would be really good for my own bullet journal that I sell. It'd be really good for the 2026 version, but alas, these little guys are trademarked, so you will not be seeing them in this upcoming bullet journal thing. I have, however, started to draw the themes. You will see some new themes, some from 2025 that I've drawn in this bullet journal, and then perhaps also some revamped from a couple years ago. So just keep an eye out for when those do finally release. Okay, there's these Labubus done. So now I'm gonna go in again with my smaller number 3 and do the details for them. So this one is gonna have a straw. This one has an umbrella in the drink. And then of course her little radio sitting here. This one is so much smaller, I'm gonna go ahead and use the 3 pen for it, and maybe just do dots instead of squiggles for the fur. I'm not 100, actually, you know what, I think I might actually need the number 1 pen just to do the details of the face because it's so small. Should I have maybe drawn it a little bigger? Perhaps. This one looks really malicious for whatever reason. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead with the 1 pen then. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. My goodness, I'm like losing my voice and I haven't even really done much talking today. Like I also mentioned in the last little clip, this design is my own. This is not in any of their promotional images. I just thought the idea of having like a beach bag with one of the Labubus on it would, again, work really well with the rest of the promotional images that the company put out. I also, like, I've been planning on doing a Labubu theme for July for like quite a while now. So it actually just really worked out that I ended up stumbling across the promotional images that were very summer-esque. Now we're doing it because the only thought that I had in my brain was doing a whole bunch of like their faces, and that would be the mood tracker. We like color in the fur around there, which did kind of sound a little bit like a nightmare, drawing 31 different Labubu heads in addition to anything else I wanted to draw. So I'm glad that I didn't end up going that route. This is the hard part, drawing the key ring. Fingers crossed this makes sense. So I found this bag online. It's blue and white striped, and then it has like a rope handle because I was searching beach bags and a lot of them were like mesh, and I really didn't want to draw some sort of a mesh bag because then it wouldn't be able to hold itself up right, you know? So this blue and white bag it is. I feel like that's very summer-esque. And then the rope handle just made it kind of quirky. And then instead of having just like a plain old bag, my bag is filled with beach toys, and that's kind of bringing it back to the beach toys from the very first page the Labubus are playing with. So I'm building their little sand castles. Does this look like a rope? I don't know. Since I've been drawing my bullet journal spreads digitally again for the 2026 bullet journal I'm gonna release, it's really nice to have some of the brushes that like do the textures and whatnot for you, because this truly is like a nightmare sometimes having to draw your own textures. Anyways, now that that's done, let's finish the rest of this bag. It is stuffed to the brim with beach toys. Cute. Okay, now time for color. Okay, I've been browsing through colors and testing them out, and I think I'm gonna go with peach for their little faces and then tan for the sand. They look very similar, so I'm gonna do each thing individually before we just like go ahead and complete a page. So I haven't decided what color I'm gonna do each little Labubu, but for now we'll just do the skin and the sand so as to not confuse ourselves. I'm also gonna use this really pale pastel pink to do the little blush on their cheeks, because they all have little blush kind of right beside their eyes there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then we'll figure out the colors of the Labubus later. The way that it looks with none of them colored in. Like, they're actually so cute with their little rosy cheeks. I'm in love, and I really don't want to ruin it with color, but I can't just leave them all like little yetis. That does give me an idea though for a different drawing. But anyways, I think I'm gonna make the accent stuff in this lighter brown color, because this is the lightest brown that I have. It's not like, it's just straight brown. So we'll go with the guitar, the stand for this umbrella, and the legs of the chair. And then I don't know what color I want to make the actual umbrella or the fabric of the chair or the Labubu. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, that looks okay. I wanted to do the guitar the same brown, but I don't know if I should. Picture I'm referencing this from has an orange umbrella. I like this kind of salmon color. I think it would look nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the umbrella in the salmon. And then do I do the chair the same color, I guess? I guess I probably could. Do I want to do it striped or solid? I'm thinking solid. If I try stripes first. Okay, think I actually like the stripes. Okay, and then because it's orange, do I go with a blue Labubu? Okay, let's just go with blue and hope for the best. This is, I'm pulling up a picture right now just so that I don't get this wrong. Okay, so their noses are the same color. And then some of them have eyes that are the same color and some of them just have black eyes, so. Like, that's kind of cute. Okay, I colored his eyes in dark and I like the way that looks. And I ended up settling on the same color as the sand and the same color as the chair, but like layered. Okay, I think I've decided on pink, gray, and green. So I'm gonna do the gray one first because it's the one that makes me the most nervous. And I decided to color all of their eyes in dark. I don't really care at this point if that's not the authentic look of whatever colors I've chosen, because I think they just look cute with the dark eyes. I'm just feathering the marker around the outside to mimic the fluffiness that I've drawn in with the ink. And that's part of the reason why I didn't want to connect the lines to draw the fuzzy, was so that I didn't have to worry about accidentally coloring outside the lines. Doing this technique also makes them just look a little fluffier because the marker isn't flat. Not that these blend well enough to look flat anyways, but it's the thought that counts. Do a little bit different. We're gonna make it the dark brown macaron one, which is like special edition or something, so it has a red nose instead of a brown nose. And then I'm also gonna make this flag red, and then it ties the two together nicely. So we'll go with the dark brown, and I'll do the exact same thing that I've done for all of the rest of them. We're gonna kind of go around the edges in the feathering motion, basically just going over all the line work I just did. And then I color it in the same sort of fashion so that it intentionally looks streaky like fur. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's so cute. Okay, let's make this one the purple one, just like in the promotional image. That is everything. So here is the final flip through. These are the July Labubu bullet journal spreads. I think they're so cute. I am really happy with the way that they turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos about twice a month. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you all in the next video. Anyone was curious why the footage for this video is a little bit questionable, my ring stand is kind of on its last legs, so love that for us.